students. Today's class is for class 8 and we are going to discuss a poem. If you remember, in the previous class we discussed something related to grammar, and at this particular session we will be discussing a poem by William Blake. William Blake is a poet who writes several poems for children. He is a child poet in one sense, but his speciality is that through simple words and simple themes, he gives us a very deep meaning. In other words, you can say William Blake is a spiritual poet. Who is a spiritual poet? A spiritual poet is a poet who tries to give us a spiritual message, a message related to God or some godly qualities through his poems. Therefore, this particular poem, A Piper's Song, comes under the collection of William Blake's Songs of Innocence. If you read the collection of these poems, you will come to understand that William Blake is speaking something related to God. All his poems will have spiritual values. He speaks about humility, he speaks about innocence, he speaks about helping others, and there are several values which are there in the collection of his poems. And he also talks about how man changes as he grows up. You see, when we were children, we were innocent. When we were children, we did not kind of concentrate more on vices. What do you mean by vices? Bad qualities. We never knew what corruption was when we were children. We were happy, we were innocent, we were angel-like, or we were even God-like, you can say. But as we grow up into human beings, as maturity comes up, all kinds of sins, all kinds of bad qualities, all kinds of vices come in. We become angry, we become jealous, we become selfish, we become dishonest, and there are several other vices or bad qualities which come into us. So, the collection of William Blake's, that is the poems of William Blake's, speak about these two stages. Man as a child and man as an adult. So he wrote the Songs of Innocence, which includes the childhood nature of babies and children and their qualities. And he also wrote another collection, that is Songs of Experience. So if you read the poems of this collection, you will come to understand how a man becomes sinful, how he becomes bad, because all the bad qualities, the vices, V-I-C-E-S, vices come in, and he becomes aggressive and selfish and sinful and so on. But today we are going to discuss one poem under the collection of Songs of Innocence, just one poem. And this is a very, very simple poem. To begin with, the poet talks about a piper. Of course, the piper is the poet himself. And who is a piper? A piper is a person who plays a pipe. And he plays several pieces of music, musical compositions through his pipe. So the writer or the poet, that is William Blake, was walking down a valley. And when he was walking down a valley, he was not walking alone. He was using a pipe, a pan pipe. It's a long pipe with which you can play music. So the poet, that is the piper, was playing some music very happily and passing through the woods. When he was passing through the woods, suddenly he saw an angelic face in the cloud. That is the most beautiful thing about this poem. He sees a child, a very happy child, a smiling child, an angelic child in the clouds. And as I told you before, William Blake was a very spiritual man. Right from his childhood, his mother taught him several stories from the Bible, and the Bible had a great influence on him. So, he became very spiritual and he saw visions. He was a man of visions. What do you mean by a man of visions? He would see several visions related to angels and prophets and sometimes even God. So he was a man who was habituated to seeing visions. So here suddenly he sees a vision. And what is the vision? He sees the face of an angel in the clouds, and the angel is happy and smiling. And the angel asks him to sing a song of a lamb. This word lamb has a very, very important role to play in the poem. It's one of the most important words. Keep that in mind. So, the angelic face or the angel who appeared in the clouds asked the poet to sing a song of a lamb. And the poet immediately, that is a piper, immediately he piped the music about the lamb. He wrote a poem about the lamb, so to say. So what happened? When he piped the music related to a lamb, the angel who was there in the cloud became very happy, and he was touched by the song so much that he wept. The angel began to cry because his song, the music that he played was so touching, so emotional. Therefore, it made the angel in the cloud cry. And the child wept. And then the child told him, now come on, put your pipe down, keep your pipe down, and you start singing some happy songs of cheer. What do you mean by songs of cheer? Any song that brings happiness into your heart. That is known as songs of cheer. So the angel told the poet, now come on, oh piper, sing some songs of joy, sing some happy songs. Immediately the poet, he kept the pipe, he kept it aside, put it down, and he started singing songs of happiness, songs of cheer. And the angel listened to those songs of happiness, songs of cheer, and he was so touched, so affected, that again he began to weep. So you see, the poet's song and the poet's music had a great effect on the angel, on the angelic face, on the angel whom he saw in the clouds. So again, for the second time, the angel weeps. Now, for the third time, the angel gives him a command. The angel says, oh piper, now keep your pipe aside, stop singing, and you start writing the poems. You start writing these songs in a book so that people can read them. So the angel told the poet to write the songs. First he told the poet to sing a song of the Lamb, which the poet did. Again the angel asked the poet to sing songs of happiness and cheer, which again the poet did. And finally the angel says, now forget about everything. You start writing these poems so that people will be able to read and enjoy them. So now what did the poet do? The poet took a rural pen. Take note of this word, rural pen. All of us know what a pen is. But how many of us know what a rural pen is? A rural pen is nothing but a pen made out of stick. A pen which is made out of reed. Reed is a kind of long grassy plant which grows along the rivers. So the poet made a rural pen which was used in the countryside, and he used ink. And what kind of ink did he use? He took some water and he mixed some chemicals with the ink, probably with the water, and he made ink with water. So he had two things with him. One is the rural pen and the other one is a ink which was made out of water. And he started writing down all the songs, and as a result we get the collection of poems which come under the heading Songs of Innocence. So, if you read this particular poem, you will really enjoy this, because this may look like a simple incident, but the meaning that it offers, the implied meaning, the meaning which is hidden in the poem is very important. Now there are two things that you need to keep in mind. Number one is a lamb. What is the importance of lamb in this poem? You see, according to the biblical references, according to Christian theology, lamb represents Jesus Christ. And a lamb stands for humility. A lamb stands for meekness. You see, when a lamb is taken to a slaughterhouse, what is a slaughterhouse? A place where it is butchered, it does not say anything. It is very quiet. It is very humble. It does not react. It is just led to the slaughterhouse. So, a lamb stands for humility. A lamb is not proud. So, the poet wants to tell us that Jesus Christ, who represents lamb, is a symbol of humility. And all of us must have this quality, that is the quality of being humble, because if you are humble, God will raise you up. That is the message. If you are proud, if you are aggressive, if you are arrogant, God will not look at you. You cannot kind of go ahead and back. So, God loves a humble person. God loves a person who is humble and who has a quality of humility with him. So this is exactly one of the most important points. And the second point that you need to remember is the same lamb can change into a tiger. If you read the other poems of William Blake, which come under the collection Songs of Experience, he speaks about a tiger. So what does a tiger stand for? A tiger stands for aggressiveness. A tiger stands for killing. It stands for ferocity. It stands for danger and terror. So, the man who behaves like a lamb when he is a child turns into an aggressive and arrogant and dangerous and a ferocious tiger in his later part or in his adulthood. So, when man becomes an adult, all kinds of bad qualities and vices come into him. So, this exactly is the background of the poem. Tomorrow we will discuss the poems line by line. We will also come across the literary devices. But for the time being, you must keep this in mind, that the poet, who is William Blake, is a piper. He started piping a pipe, and when he was going through the valley or the woods, he saw an angel who was smiling in the clouds, and the angel told him to write a song of the Lamb, which he does. Then again he asks him to sing happy songs. The poet does, and then finally the angel says, put your pipe away, stop singing the songs, and finally you start writing the poems, which the poet did. So with this we stop here. We will continue the rest in the next class. Till then, stay safe and goodbye.